we're not quitting. We might take the delayed route because we go build a company or two to go find the tools, build out the solutions. But the whole point of it is that we're not quitting, and we're going to collab with everyone on that journey that have our heart.
I gotta keep going. Welcome to another episode of The Pursuit with Dr. Pat. I'm going to kind of jump right into this one. I spoke too much beforehand on getting prepared. I'm just so excited. I've been wanting to have this gentleman on for no stalking, but I did see him. I saw him on Facebook, on social media, and I'm like, man, as you don't realize what you, and then based off of his genius in marketing and pattern recognition and pattern utilization and pattern creation, I always come back to that Tony Robbins ruck. It was the number one person I've seen in the insurance/advanced planning space. And all I've done is study it. I've just dove into it headfirst over the last 2 years because of the amount of trust and the amount of clients and the amount of money that's pouring into these companies. This gentleman has built 3 unbelievable businesses that all are cohesive and they go with each other. And more importantly, it's not only the engineering that goes into it, but it's the empathic nature that he runs his business. And you would think that there would be competition. No, the financial world should collaborate. That's all where we're all going these days is collaboration. You can't unsee it. Hopefully that I'm coming out of the screen today because I want to come out of the screen. I've already talked his head off because we have a really good short 40 minutes here because he's got to talk to his team and lead it from the front like he always does. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody, welcome Javaughn Spencer.
Oh man, thank you, Dr. Pat, man. Thank you. Definitely appreciate it. Appreciate the offer and be able to be a guest and speak to the audience and share a little about me, which is so awkward still to this day to have that conversation about what we've done. Because to be honest, Pat, a lot of what we did was out of I can still call it fight or flight. We had to do it. It didn't exist, so we had to do it. But when you're successful, they call you a genius. But Lord knows if you weren't, they call you crazy. So it's a thin line between genius and crazy sometimes.
Yeah. And I put you definitely in the genius category on that. And it's almost like wearing a king's crown. If you've ever seen the movie Gladiator, right? Where Marcus Aurelius wants to give Russell Crowe the emperor, and he's like, man, I don't want it. And he's like, that's exactly why it needs to be you.
Yeah.
And immediately I'm like, there's something about this guy. And I'll say it, I'll make a small joke here. I was man stalking him, but I wasn't stalking him. I was just like, dude, there's something about this guy. And then one thing that I've learned over the past 8 years since I left JP Morgan, by the way, that logo is very strong. And you think that it's you. Nah, they ain't coming for you. They're coming for the JP Morgan on the statement, right? I've mentioned them a lot just simply because I appreciate all of their training. But now you're in the middle of the ocean. You don't realize it. All of a sudden you wake up one night and you're like, yep, I'm in the middle of the ocean. So the fact of I was seeing maybe glimpses, I'm like, I got to understand not what he does. That's his intellectual capital and property. However, in this world of buy leads, call leads, sell leads, hey, you're on your own. No. And I'm like, no, man, I think this guy's doing it a different way. So as I always ask any guest that comes on, what is Javaughn Spencer, your wife, Bridget, Betsy, your business partner, what are you 3 are in pursuit of right now?
Man, right now, Pat, what we're in pursuit of is really duplicating leadership. We have the tools, we built the tools. It took us going on 5 years of our life to create the tools that we saw where the industry was going, and we feel that we built those tools light years ahead. Hopefully, there's no AI script that's going to come and wipe that out. And
You
you know,
did.
so now that's done. Now we're all about building relationships and really searching for quality people that want to be in the industry that changed our lives. A little bit about ourselves. A lot of marketers we see out here, we see all these new people popping up on the block, and that's cool. And we love the entrepreneur spirit. But what we miss is that all the tools and all the products that we built came from being in the driver's seat, being at the top of our industry and looking around. Why is this tool not here? And putting it right to use. And I think that's what makes us so different is that we're not just building something to sell to a bunch of agents. That's not the need. We're building things that we saw a need for our team, and we figured out how to offer it because collaboration is our was our number one goal, right? It doesn't matter which company you're with, it doesn't matter any of that. Our heart is to serve the people, serve the consumer, because once you have a few death claims, you recognize how impactful what we do. And outside the death claims, right? The death claims might be it's very important to me, but on the other side is helping people save money and having their retirement last because we've seen people run out of money, right? I know you see it all the time, people running out of money because of lack of education. So we hold that in high regard of our duty when we got signed up with that license and did that, we'll call our oath to the state that we're going to do right by our clients. It also meant being in front of them. So very proactive in that. Our whole thing now is just finding really good people, all walks of life, and helping them really live this life where, you can, what you dreamed of. I say all the time, it's surreal to me. It's like deja vu because we're living now what I was dreaming about 4 years ago, what Betsy was dreaming about 4 years ago, what Bridget was dreaming about. She probably wasn't dreaming. She was listening to me talk about it and was like, we have no money. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But you definitely wanted to really get that going.
I love and everybody can hear, right? And Javaughn, you're just gonna have to hear a lot of compliments today, and I know it's hard to hear. And I will say this, and it's okay, right? Because it's not arrogant. It's like I have seen a lot in 20 years. I think I've seen out of 1,000 financial professionals, it'd be hard for me to probably see someone that I haven't probably seen before. It'd be probably pretty hard. And I'm not trying to say here that it's me, but what I will say is this: there's so much misinformation out there because
Oh,
marketing, we're so primed. And I swear, I know I'm a Tony Robbins disciple. I just am. We're getting primed all the time, right? Your insurance agent, what is your insurance agent telling you? Your financial advisor is like, that's your insurance agent. I have a higher certification than
yeah,
them.
yeah.
And it's this like, I've actually seen pitch decks to clients. I've been on calls because I'm both.
Mm,
Yes, I'm a fiduciary. However, I use insurance because it's the last haven of for really a lot of people, but it's the last haven for there's no income limits, there's no contribution limits really, unless you get to the hundreds of millions. And then that allows for generational wealth, but
yep,
it's not structured. It has to be structured properly, as you
yep,
know. So that's how I've used it, and also to protect. And then really coming back to what you just said is people's number one fear in any type of retirement planning is running out of money.
yep,
State and effect story. That's it. And if I could share one research study or two, one by Ernst and Young, which is a top four, and one by Goldman Sachs, which coincidentally is one of the number one investment banks in the world. Um, but 30% into your money into a cash value insurance policy structured correctly, 40% into some type of tax deferred guaranteed income. So think of like a Tom Hegna, or think of it like a Dave Ramsey. He's going to say like essential expenses guaranteed by guaranteed income. And the last 30 or 40% investments. But you're going to say, have some people to be like, oh, we can live off dividends, we can do that. But really, when you get to the client, say, okay, we need income. Do you want that off of dividends or do you want that guaranteed? And then a lot of people are like, I want it guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
And I'm like, but, right, our grandfathers in the 80s or our grandmothers, they got a pension.
4%.
They
Yep,
got a
we got
pension.
Yep,
Pension sounds good. Annuities sound bad.
yep,
Because somebody sold me an annuity, but General Motors gave me a pension. They're the same thing, everybody. I took
yep.
my money, I gave it to a captive insurance agent or the state of Illinois or the state of Virginia, and I get a pension. So walk me through why you think that has been such a divisive nature. And to your point, I call it, me and Jill, as you and Bridget talk about it, and Betsy, I told them, I am table nine. I've been at table one, but I'm a table nine guy. Like on the Wedding Singer, when the people of the kind of the forgotten, I'm like, forget that. Nope, you're part of the team. No way. So walk me through why you think that is such a, at your heart as you run your agency.
The making sure the tools are present. I think because you're to do it right, you're asking people to disrupt their lives to better themselves. And when I came into the industry, the whole conversation was I paved the road so that I can show you as a leader. My job is to show you where the potholes are going to be and help you get out of it.
And where did you get that mindset? That was that ingrained in you? Was
That
that
that was literally the culture that we in our company, and in my uplines, I really had great mentors when I came in to the industry. And that was our company's culture. That- That's what we do. And when COVID came, the industry just had the biggest pivot, Pat.
yes?
It was just scary. I was ground level. My schedule was crazy, and I thought it was I thought it was fun, right? I would door knock. COVID came, our governor said, "Go in the house." My door knocking went out the window. Couldn't go door knocking.
And I hear that you're one of the best door knockers in your area.
I'm the in the state. I'm a,
In the
the best
state?
in the state. So what I you took away my spinach.
Superpower.
My
Yeah, yeah,
superpower is
yeah.
gone. Up one night and I saw an ad to learn how to do appointments on your calendar, and I'm like, man, that would be awesome. Started that program, invested in ourselves, and got Betsy involved in that. And we looked at each other after spending about 6 months of putting this program together so that we paid on the program. We lost opportunity costs because we're putting it together. So we just turned into not only tech marketers, but we just turned into tech people at the same time, losing so much time and energy and paid over five figures for it separately. And we're like, you know what? What if we just did a business where we put this together for agencies? So our first out the bat was just solving a problem that we encountered because we lost so much money and opportunity for just putting together this marketing. And then Betsy shot off. She did 40, 50 grand in a month off of just advanced
Stop.
cases.
Really?
Yeah, it, it was crazy. And I did not. I
And,
did
and
not
what you mean by that, you and I know this, but again, for my, if my advisor friends out there to be like, oh man, that's one time. And then the other people, the haters are going to say, oh, that's whatever. Right. Okay. What are you going to do next month? It's okay. Please tell the audience what 40 or 50 grand means, please.
40, 50,000 annual premium. And these are constantly paid commission. So it wasn't just 1 month. It was like a nice 20, more like a 5 month run because it's advanced markets. But the gift of that, Pat, was that they came in to us, right? They were inbound, and that was totally different from the outbound that we had to go to their homes.
And what did you call that business?
That was level up leads.
Level up leads.
It's still active, still going, but what we do, but just to show
So again, this is where this is where we all need to collaborate. I don't care
yeah,
what IMO you're with. I really don't.
absolutely.
Right. This is great. So if another IMO is out there listening to this, and I hope they are, right? The number one is rising lead costs, Javaughn. Rising lead costs.
I
It's a
wouldn't
real,
even
it's a real,
I wouldn't even say rising lead costs, Pat. I'm going to even say and back then it was lead availability at all.
oh, I gotcha.
I don't even want to like the cost people would pay, but when you wake up and the problem that we face was I have a $500 that I know will help me generate and make $5,000, but I get a message that says you only got 3 leads this week. Talk about turmoil. That's what we were facing. I never want anyone to think that, oh, just go spend more and make more. You'll make the money
Okay.
back.
So and this is what I want to try to elicit for the audience. What you hear from the industry for what you're supposed to go do. You're supposed to spend what?
I'm supposed to spend $500 and I'm going to make 5,000 after I'm skilled at the level where I was at. I'll spend 500, make 5,000. Okay. And then by the end of that week, I should have deposits between 2,500 to 3,000 per week. Right.
And then do it again. So
And
if you
then
can only
do it
get
again.
free, you better go spend more money, Javaughn.
There you, when you got nothing to spend it on, you get a little bit nervous, right? So then my posture for recruiting went down because if I can't even make money, how can I, with a straight face, warm heart, find someone else to do this, right? So this is where that pioneer entrepreneur was like, how can I fix this? You know why? Why I was that? Because I'm not quitting, right? So that's the one thing I just have to tell the audience: you're talking and listening to someone that we're not quitting. We might take the delayed route because we go build a company or two to go find the tools, build out the solutions. But the whole point of it is that we're not quitting, and we're going to collab with everyone on that journey that have our heart. So that was why
And please tell the audience, are we at the same IMO?
no,
No, we are not. I
no,
respect Javaughn. I
100%.
respect what he's doing. I celebrate from Chicago. Javaughn is in South Carolina.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of people like, why are you talking to a different IMO?
Oh my
It's like,
goodness. We're not.
maybe
this
it's
is not-
because he's brilliant and I love his thought pattern. Maybe,
And-
oh, I'm sorry.
when I signed up in the industry, I didn't sign up to be in a gang.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm okay, and I'm definitely a people's person, and no, definitely from your first message saw that this was a really good person, and then when I met the team, was like, okay, Pat's one of the family right there. Yeah,
I appreciate that. And yeah, and I want to keep and I know you got to go in 20 minutes. I think I could talk to you forever. So the number one word that sticks out to me is you saw a problem.
absolutely.
And that's why a lot of people think of don't give up and they just have to go buy more leads and sell more leads and work harder. And it's talk a little bit about, we talked about pattern recognition, but if you can see a problem, that's where you should stop and be like, okay, how can we solve that problem for XYZ that somebody's in our care? Because right now, what's the turnover rate in that industry?
92%.
92%.
Yep.
92%. Is that where Cody Askins gets his 8%?
Correct.
Yeah. Cody's good. I don't know Cody, but he does a good
Oh,
job.
I know Cody. I know
Yeah.
Cody's awesome.
Weren't you on his podcast? Yeah.
Yep.
Cody seems like they're doing a great job. But yeah, 92%. That's the turnover rate.
In the first year. Year.
It's sick. Well, let me ask you this. What's your turnover rate?
Oh man. less than 10% now that we're up and
So
at it.
well, please,
Inverted.
everybody hear me. If you're
I only
at,
can, I only can think of one person, and I really I'm being modest at that.
I know you are.
I'm
So
being
what I'm
really
saying, if I want everybody to grasp this, think of it like if you own a gym, or even if you're at work at XYZ company, you could be at a doctor's office, you could be wherever. At every 10 people you hire, 9 people would leave in the first year. That's where the industry's at. Javaughn, same person, put those people right next to each other. He has the exact same doctor's office next door. So take insurance out of it. Every 10 people he hires, 9 stay.
yep.
That's to me, that's not a better operation. That's a revolution change. That's that's an actual change of where the economy would go in the Spencer Financial Group.
Yeah. And that I can tell you the
I'm sorry,
decision.
man. I'm just it comes out of me because
No,
it
man,
really it pisses me off because these people are like, yeah, that's just what it is, man. That's what it is. Buy more leads. I don't know what you do, and I don't want to know how to do it. So I ain't gonna do it. And I'm like, I can't wait to compete with you today and the next day and the next day because I will anyway. Go
no,
ahead.
man.
I'm
No,
gonna go off.
Pat, no, it wasn't just the tools when it comes to that part. That one was a mindset
Yes.
leadership shift. Um, you know, I remember it clear as day. I had a yellow notepad coming back from a conference, and I was embarrassed. I was so embarrassed. Um, I was embarrassed because I went to that conference and I didn't talk about it. So no one in my agency came.
Oh, I gotcha.
And we had that was the conference that we brought level up leads out, um, and it went off through the roof. It was
Did they give you a platform to speak, Javon?
yeah, yeah, yep. Had a platform at the conference and had a booth and was talking to help. I helped so many agents. It was like because on lead side, we've already generated close to $40 million in production for other organizations and IMOs and everything, right?
Oh,
So
okay, so $40 million in commissions,
income, yeah, absolutely.
real money in somebody's
Real
pocket.
money in someone's pocket.
That's
As we're
that's
talking
crazy.
here, I've just seen 5,000 come over just this morning from people that's not in my organization that bought.
What do you mean by that? They're subscribing to your service?
No, no, they sold a lead. They helped a family and they wrote
Oh,
$5,000 of premium off of leads that we generated for them to call. And this is not in my agency, Pat. Pat, I just want to make it clear. This is not in my company. This is not Spence Financial Group that's doing this. This is someone outside of Spence Financial Group that's just a client, another IMO, another company, right? And I can see that. I so when I had to make the shift was like, hey, what did you do this for? You did not start a lead company to sell leads. You started a lead company to be able to help your agents and help other people. Now get back to the core, and the true grit of leadership is not that you have the tools. The true grit is, do your people know you care about them? And I had to be honest, they did not. When my team fell apart, they did not know I cared about them because I was just like, hey, here's leads. Call. I was that guy. Get leads, call up, and I'm on top of the leaderboards. And it's no, I don't know anyone kid's name. I don't know your kid name. I don't know your husband name. I don't know your wife's name, but we're together virtually all day. So I had to just make a conscious effort that's not easy for me.
what year was this, Siobhan?
2023.
Okay, so 3 years ago. 3 years ago.
2023. Yep. Came back and was like, this is horrible, right? And one would think when you're like numbers focused that your bank account talks to you about what you need to adjust. But it wasn't the bank account, right? Because you have a thriving business over here. It wasn't the bank account whatsoever. It was 100% that the goal wasn't aligned, right? And we could be, and my goal, my purpose wasn't aligned. It was getting detoured, right? Based off of the ego and the success of one company that was individualized, but I let my team down, right? So leaders are readers. I had to go back to liking people. I had to go around other leaders. I really went to a leadership and they're like, what do you want? What do you want to accomplish in this retreat? And I was like, I just want to like my team again because I wasn't reading, I wasn't self-developing. So when I had to make the decision that this is all in, I'm not getting deterred. It don't matter what the revenue looked like on the other businesses. The core of why we did this was for my son to have a business and my other son to have a business. And hopefully, and the goal is for that to be insurance. And it's not for leads, it's not recruiter vault, it's not agent verified. The goal for the business was for this. So I was letting my family down and it hit me. And I remember that ride back from Denver and I had the notepad. It was like write down and I wrote down, do you want to get back up, dust yourself off, and commit to building your business? You got the tools, that's great. Your name, they're loving you, everyone's hugging. But they love you when you're making the money, Pat. Like
Oh,
everyone,
yeah. And you know how
everyone,
fast, you know how long that lasts? A month
exactly,
until
right?
next month. You're like, where did you go? And it's just like,
Exactly.
okay, my character didn't change, guys.
Not at all,
You know what
right?
I mean?
So I had to make that decision, and I'm so grateful that I did because now it's
So what? Yeah. So I think that's great. So that's what you saw in 2020. So right, we spoke a little bit before that we started recording. That then that creates a dislocation in the market. That's the old qualitative and quantitative market analyst in me from the JP Morgan days of all right, dislocation creates opportunity. Opportunity for the right people, you can recognize it and talk about it all day as we talk about the talking heads, right?
yeah,
It's another thing to go create it.
yeah.
And that's different for you. So you saw that you created Level Up Leads. What was born out of Level Up Leads in 2023 that you saw next for your next business venture? Not just business,
I
but to
know, right?
provide
It
real value.
makes it sound so serial. What was that? I was ground level with my team, and I kept getting agents like, man, they hung up on me, or
Gotcha.
they wouldn't give me their social, or they wanted to meet face to face. I'm like, are you going to drive to California to meet with them? Right. And all the things were just credibility issues. And I didn't have this issue. And I couldn't understand how my new agents kept having this issue. And we started looking what was out there. Yeah, I can send my license, or yeah, I can tell them my NIPR number, but the average consumer doesn't know what a NIPR
Oh.
number is or what an NPN number is or the
If they're
validity of
asking
that.
you, what do you think? They
Yeah.
probably already hung up, probably, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right. So we like, you know what if we had a website that validated who you were in order for you to be on? Then we just started looking even more. You know what? What if I was in California and I wanted to talk to an independent agent? Who do I call? So we started searching and Googling and looking up and realizing that there's no independent databases that the average consumer can search and talk to someone. And then it was even worse, Pat. I remember, forget, I love Chinese food, but I never can go to Chinese food out of town. And why is that? Because you don't know the area. You don't know if this is the good one that got or the bad one that got shut down last week. And I say that
Man,
because,
you're gonna make me go get Chinese food. You're gonna make me break my diet.
well,
I
think
want
about
some
this,
Chinese
Pat.
food.
The best Chinese restaurants are mom and pops. You know it from being living in the area, but no
Yeah.
one has reviews, right? And then I look at my me and my wife, we go on Amazon and or TikTok shop, and we won't even buy a stick of gum unless they have a bad review, or if they have a bad review, right? But then we look at the financial world and there's no reviews. I've sold over 2,000, 2,500 policies face to face on some of them, virtual for a lot more of them, and I have no reviews, Pat. How can I work a bit every have no reviews? Think about let's just sit
Yeah,
that
and
there's
just so the
no
audience, and yeah, so the audience knows this, Javaughn. there's a lot of things there. The SEC for financial advisors,
Yep.
the compliance people, as we started to build our firm out, you couldn't get Google reviews. They didn't like it. They
Correct.
changed that. They changed it because you got to, everybody finds it. You and I can't go out to dinner without looking at Google.
Yeah.
That pattern recognition, now some advisors have FINRA.
Yep.
And by the way, there's a lot of stuff that is great about those, and broker check and all that stuff that's not great, but I won't go into that. The other side of it is they're like, there's no place to see if who's the best independent insurance agent, regardless of state. Because I
Yep.
could be in California. I just want to know someone's good. But
Yep.
they gotta solve that credibility issue, which again, you're solving problems
Yep.
because you cared about your agent.
Yep.
We all go back to caring, but then what's the problem? Now you create a solution. What was your solution?
Agent verified.
Let's
So
let's
we
go.
created
Tell me
Agent
about Agent
Verified.
Verify.
Agent Verified came on the scenes, and we were like, man, how do we get this out there? We did something unique. And because we are successful life insurance agents already, it's not money first, right? We need the subscription to keep the platform going. We put 200,000 people on the platform and then offered it to the level.
200,000.
200,000 people, licensed
So these
agents
are
on the platform.
licensed independent insurance
Independent,
agents.
independent insurance agents.
So walk me through this. What I'm going to say that I am a 45-year-old male. I'm like,
Mhm.
man, one thing I'm like, what am I concerned with right now? I'm concerned with my 17-year-old daughter going to college. I'm concerned with two beautiful children that I I get to help raise, and that's 8 and 5. But now we have a burgeoning business. So we got 7 of them. So what
Yep.
happens to Jill if I died? Does the business die with me?
You got all
Maybe,
those problems. You got
right?
all those problems, and who do you call for any of it?
Exactly. And that's what
Like,
I'm saying. So I want people to understand that. So maybe you are the patriarch of the family and your wife stays at home. Maybe it's flipped. The wife works, you stay at home. So who do I call and who do I go
maybe
to?
until you see an ad, maybe do you trust all that? So that's what we discover, right? You have an agent that gets licensed virtually, so undercover in their office, and then
Yep.
they come out to the world and say, I'm licensed, and it stops there, right?
Yep.
So now when we put that up there, organically, what started happening was the SEO started shooting through the roof for people. People search their
And
names,
explain SEO to the audience.
search engine optimization. So when people were to Google their names as a licensed agent, next thing you know, agent verified with their profile will pop up with their state and their NPN, and it will let them know that you should
So
claim
so
from
you're
this
saying
because
that you found me, that I have a great personality at Burger King, let's just say. I'm 23 years old and I've served you well, and you're like, you know what? How much do you make an hour? And they're like, I'm not really working my job. I make 12 bucks an hour. And you're like, hey, I really think that we should talk. So that person says, you know what, Javaughn, I'm following you. I'm following you. I'm going to go get my life insurance. You probably have a discount to go get my life insurance license. This is
yep,
what you can do. This is what's possible. And then all of a sudden, they don't have any credibility because they just got their
start.
license.
Yep. And guess what? Guess what pool do they go through? We just said that what percentage do they fall into now?
92.
92% there, Pat. Now they
And you
fall.
don't, and that's not your standard.
No,
That's not a
but this is
standard you live
but
at.
that's just the industry, right? So just sharing with you, they just got inspired. Now they're not credible, and now they're closer to that 92% pull than they would like. And so with Agent Verified, when we created that, it came with training on how to leverage it, be able to get different reviews and did different with considerations and accommodations as well, and then teach agents to be proactive with their marketing, and you have a actual website amongst others that's in the industry, right? So now you are near the best of the best, and made it very affordable to where now we have a free version, right? So we have a version now
You have a
where it's
free version of Agent Verified?
yeah,
Does
Yep. Well,
everybody
like
hear this? If you're an independent, could it be also
life.
for a state farm or a captive or just independent?
Yep. If you have a license, life insurance license, and you have E&O insurance, then you can be verified. And we have the technology where they do facial recognition, put their ID in, so that it's letting the consumer know that this person has been verified through this and this. And we've actually looked at their E&O insurance. And as of this date, they've been insured. So now when a consumer goes on to agent verified and pick you, right? They know that you're the real deal. And now they can look at reviews, look at videos of you. You can educate, you can put job posts up there. There's so much things that we have there just to be able to help the consumer find.
And, and Javaughn, and I love the thought. And the only reason I'm pausing here is because I want people to walk through what people are really trying to find. They're like, okay, I want to protect my mortgage. I'm looking for living benefits. A lot of
Yep.
people don't realize that, right? You're one of the biggest advocates of living benefits that I know in the
Oh, there you
industry.
go.
That it's okay if something happens. Well, yes, there's a death and that's tragic, but more likely that's going to happen is a dislocation and maybe a life event happens and we may lose some income or we may be disabled or we may get cancer, right? And then insurance can actually be used, if I'm understanding correctly, Javon,
Correct.
if I was just a consumer, that you
Yep.
could actually get paid from that
Up front.
to stay
Yep.
afloat.
Yep.
However, before that, to get that in place for yourself, people would have to send your license, send this. Now you spend 17 to 25 minutes just proving you're a real person.
Yep.
So
Oh,
before,
yep.
yep. So before all of that, people can just be like, hey, I need you to do me a favor. I can understand how you could think that this may be like, hey, I don't know if I believe you. I don't know if you're a real person. You're in a different state, different time zone, but I can go to an independent website and go look up all of this before we even hop on the call.
Yep. 100%.
And
And
who invented that?
I don't, the word invented, we created it. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And it helped. Oh my goodness. I can't even tell you the success stories of even people finding people through that site by just looking up people in their state. And it's been just really, it's been awesome because God definitely did it. Because Pat, one day we were looking up and I was just on Chat GPT and Chat GPT started finding people on agent verified. So now people were able to say, find a verified agent in my state. And it would be being able to pull up the verified agents or cross checking if this person was verified
So
through
please
ChatGPT.
listen to this, everybody. I don't care what IMO you're with, and I'll just name a few, right?
Don't name any,
It's a
Pat, just anybody. Don't name any.
anybody. Yeah, we won't name names, right? I don't care who you're with. Go to that and what now the search results, right?
Yep.
The search results. And by the way, all of these insurance companies have a good heart at the
Yep.
frame. They want their agents to win. Yes, they want to be profitable, but they want their agents to win, right? So, with that said, though, now people are searching from SEO to AEO
Yep.
because now the searchers are going to ChatGPT. But
Mhm.
because of all of your success, what populates first?
Agent
Agent
verified.
verified.
Yep.
So
Agent verified is
again,
popping.
I'm not being a paid sponsor here of
No,
Javon. What I'm
I
saying of is
can't pay you
this.
because it's free because we got a free version now.
Exactly. For me, I'm thinking that I've seen it. This is what I don't care what insurance company you're with anybody. It helps your client, potential client, feel more at peace of mind.
Yep. Yep. And what we teach them, Pat, to really just make sure is there is start the call with this. So I start every call with, hey Pat, hey, before we get started, I have to identify myself. I need to send over my ID card. Can I send this to you, just text it to this number? 100% of the time they say yes. 100%. And then when they get the ID card, which is my photo, say, hey, and I need to send over my agent verified profile, which is another verifications site that we use. That I had to send over my ID, I had to do facial recognition, and I had to send over for E&O insurance to let you know it's like being bonded for life insurance as well, right? Contractors get bonded for putting up your walls and everything.
So you framed it well, and
Yeah,
you
and
framed
I
it
give
well,
it up. So
and
by
then
the time I finish with that, you know what? Because so many agents will wait to the end, and whenever someone say, "How do I know you're not scamming me?" You lost, right? You lost. If I have to wait for you to, if I have to wait for the consumer to say, "How do I know you're real?" You lost, right? So we learned. I don't even want to say after hello. My hello is, "Hey, I have to identify myself." Because a telemarketer is not going to give you their last name, and I'm not a telemarketer. So
who and was that your intellectual property of your sales process to help your agents?
absolutely, absolutely, because I couldn't
Do you
figure
see
out
why
why.
he's on, everybody? Do you see why he's on? I don't care where he's from. It's what you notice about somebody, because it's not the sale, it's how you frame it, but you're not selling anything. Anything's a sale. If I go get a bag of almonds, I'm looking at almonds right now, by the way. It's a sale.
It's a
That's
sale.
it. That's okay. We're exchanging goods and services. He's
Yep.
just doing it in a way that we of behavioral psychology. And this is why I love talking to you, Javaughn.
No,
So
I
now
appreciate it.
with Agent Verified, now where does that go?
So Agent Verify gets up and rolling, and we have leads coming out of our eyeballs. I got Agent Verified, and I look up, Pat, and I'm like, I don't have enough agents in my agency. And I shouldn't say not enough because there's never enough, but I don't have enough resources to where I now have to try to get someone to start build. Everybody wants to build, but I looked around and how are people building? And they're building because ideally you need to spend about 2 to 3 thousand plus to be able to go onto the Indeeds and the Zip Recruiters and
Mhm.
the all these job sites that now monopolize the way the consumer goes and looks for a job. And I was like, man, what if there was a way that we can reach out to folks like we do leads? And what was born from that was Recruiter Vault, right? And we brought the relationship back to recruiting, right? And when you got into the digital space, it was a mass numbers thing. It was just mass. I need people. That's a part of that 92% that left. Now with Recruiter Vault, I'm able to hand select who I want in my organization, right? And that was something that did not exist. What
Please, like
existed,
Mel Robbins says, please say that louder for the people in the back. What do?
I hand select the people that I want in my agency, right? I
Oh, you have
now
standards. You have standards, and you
I
want to
have
make sure they're good
standards.
people. And
Maybe that's why I have less than a 10% return because I don't accept
oh my,
everyone.
what? What are you? Are you what actually running a business over there? What are you
Yeah,
doing
we
over there,
happen to
Javon?
just not, we don't want to just throw people on the wall. We turn more people down. Do we accept? And it was because now I have a platform that I recognize my nurses. Everyone's not going to be attracted to me. Trust you me. So many people rather talk to Bridget than me, and I have to be okay with that, right? But the different backgrounds, we have so many successful backgrounds in the industry. Everyone's not going to come or be attracted or see me as their leader into this journey, right? So with Recruiter Vault, what we created was that people can search based off what it's important to them and how they relate to people. And that was, and I did it for my
So,
agency.
so what are you? Is it so if people could get better, maybe outside the industry, but this could permeate really any industry, right?
Any
Any
industry.
industry. It's basically okay. I want for me, my my if I had a personal trainer, I want them to be like a tough coach, like a Nick Saban. That gets the
Mhm.
most out of me. But also, my if I'm going to go talk to my sports psychologist, I prefer a woman. I really do because
Mhm.
I think that for whatever reason, I bond with them more and it gets me more out of that. And who knows? Maybe that's because I was raised by a single mother, probably.
Probably.
However, you've created the opportunity or the matchmaking to say,
Yep.
okay, This is what I'm looking for. And then all of a sudden over here in Nebraska, here is, so we'll bring it back to the industry. I'm looking for a Hispanic female independent insurance agent that's between 30 and 45 years old that would understand our what I may be going through as a Hispanic woman in 2020. So
Yeah.
now all of a sudden you search it, it applies the filters, you embrace your engineering brain with technology coupled with pattern recognition, and those two get to talk.
Yep.
And you've
And
created
guess what?
and you've created the bridge.
You've jumped over maybe 30 hoops.
Sorry,
That
sorry, sorry.
no, not you. I'm
Oh,
saying when that matchmaking takes place, you've I kept writing headhunter 1000, right? You've sought out who you wanted. So when you connect your first phone call, you jumped over 30 hoops of from that first phone call because you sought out who you would relate to. You sought out who your demographic, who you're more comfortable with, right? You sought out who you want to be in business with. You didn't just deal with a rando that just jumped on your group calendar because
the old rando. We love those randos, right?
you didn't have to deal with that. So you're cutting so much time by spending a little bit more by identifying who you want in your organization. So if you can shotgun blast all the Hispanic women in Nevada or Nebraska and only three respond, those are three of the people that you want versus
Yes.
I'll take five car Fred because he really needs a job. And I kind of like this
Five car
person.
Fred. I'm stealing. Okay, we got Rando and five car Fred. I'm
Five car
stealing.
Fred. You get, and I'll just take five car Fred. He might get through licensing, right?
Yeah.
Versus I want the sharpshooter from Nebraska that talks my lingo from my background, know what the pain that we both dealt with. And when I built that, it was it I want to say a sigh of relief because it didn't exist, but it 100% let me know that it's time to run. Right, the tools were in place. It was the completed part of our ecosystem that we didn't know we were building day one. Right, day one it just started with the agency.
And
Then we
I'll tell you, I think that's when you started doing some of the marketing for it. That's when
yep,
I started to be like, what is
yes.
this?
If
Now I'm
once
not
that
very
peak,
smart, right? I'm not very smart, but I will tell you this. I think I can understand. I think this is what he's trying to do. And you're gracious enough to lend an ear to me and give me your advice and your time. And I was like, oh, this is brilliant. This is brilliant because
that was
this
the
isn't
flywheel.
this isn't just a shot in the dark. So
Yeah.
now tell me a little bit about, walk us through where the financial group's at now. And then now what does that look like as far as not only just for you, Bridget, and Betsy, but really what people can walk into and the emotions that they have just by working with you because you've put them in maybe places they never even dreamed of.
But I'm still not all the way comfortable with the gratitude that the team give because it wasn't sought out with this board of I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and they're going to love me. No, I think that not even speaking, they can feel that we did the investing. We're here for the long haul. Our attention is not split between industries. Everything works hand in hand with everything. And now what we're looking for are just great men and women that want to build a business that already has a system in place. And that's really I'm just grateful that we took a bet on ourselves to create some enhancements to that system, but the system is ready to go. And we're really just looking for folks that want to protect families and build a business at the same time and change their legacy and also continue to fix the other legacies that's broken, but they know that they need some guidance. I know there's a lot of horror stories out there in the industry. You hear them, I hear them also.
I hear them from both sides, right? I'm a private
Yep,
wealth advisor, but I'm a tax strategist, but I'm also,
yep,
and by the way, I'm not saying that to put out a resume. I've done pattern recognition as well.
yep.
It's one thing to go babysit investments for 1% when you're really paying 1.8%, right? Let's just be honest. And it's a whole other thing to coordinate that tax strategy, because I say this, go ask your financial professional if the market was flat for 10 years for $1 million, go prove your value to me. And you know what
Mm,
you hear? You hear crickets. And that's okay. That's why I do what I do. That's okay. So I had to go do those other things to upskill myself.
mhm.
But by hopefully putting myself in the same Zoom room, no pun intended, as you, those you hear horror stories because people were sold.
Yep,
You're actually solving problems and solutions that people need anyway. They're going to go
yep,
get it.
yep.
You're just helping them go find it a little bit more efficiently, if I'm
Correct.
understanding you correctly.
100%.
So walk me through. So say I'm like, all right, Javaughn, you because there could be different stages of life. Some people could have 5 years experience and they just didn't enjoy their last, let's say, group. Now I'm like, Javaughn, I would love to join you. I have no money though. I have no money. How do you help me?
Yeah. So I tell everyone up front, you're speaking to the coming into the industry with no money guy right here. Right. And
Me,
I
me
had
too. Me too.
to what I had to do was be resourceful. So you're walking into the industry with resources or being resourceful. Right. So what we created in
And
the
I
agency.
call this, just to add to this, hopefully this is additive, that you have knowledge, time, and money, and you're always trading two to get one. So you have knowledge and time. That's all you got at 22 years old or 20 years old, right? Knowledge and time. You can learn all you want right now with AI, and you got all the time in the world. It's just how you spend it. So I got to trade these two to get money right now. So if that helps you at all or helps anybody.
I
So,
like that. However, yeah. Um, so when you come into the agency, one thing that we have is a very unique, because of the resources and the things that we have in place already. We have a lead program that is more of that training. Comes with we have trainers, we have training, we have things that the average agent on that 92% follow up rate don't have access to. Okay, and that's
so yeah, walk me through. So walk me through that. Like
yeah.
and again, I don't mean Burger King in a derogatory way. I'm just seeing that Javaughn spots opportunities because he has such a big heart and he wants to help other people create
No,
something
I
that they didn't
actually,
know is
no, in fact,
available.
I love your analogy because you're right. Like with our Take Flight program, we call it the Take Flight program,
It's
or
called Take Flight. That's
Take
that I
Flight. Yep,
forgot it was called Take Flight. Yeah.
yep. Take Flight career program. And what we're doing is for the folks that have more time than money right now. So we show them how to get licensed and they invest in their licensing because that eliminates. I have such a good heart that we have to have some feet moving or everyone will just talk you to death, right? So once we show them the path to get licensed, okay, get background check, all that fun stuff. So they're not having to walk in with the license already. Most of our agents don't have a license, okay, but they're coming in with their coming in to say, hey, I'm about to commit to doing this. We have a certain schedule that we know works, and they are committing to that schedule. In Zoom, we provide the leads, we provide the sales training, the resources, the sales resources, how to close it. We have weekly training for one of the top sales trainers that's friggin' remarkable. They have access to a community of folks that's winning all around them and then they can decide if they want to move beyond take flight career path or stay there and in there and also build their agency as well.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is you're giving them to take flight, but really the path, I call it low LBE or low barrier entry. Some people
Hmm.
prefer that like a low barrier offer, but it's
Hmm.
not. You're lowered the hurdle I'm not saying that like I used to go 4 miles in the snow every single day. If we have a good heart, we want to say, okay, I want you to go across the street now.
Yep.
But you're holding them accountable, right? So you
100
they can be take flight, but they got to show up to the Zooms,
camera on,
camera on. What else? What else?
coachable. I
Coach.
I can't stress that. Showing up coachable, tracking your numbers. By far, we can't fix what we can't track. So tracking our
It
numbers.
can't be tracked. It can't be measured. It can't be measured. It can't be improved upon. Let's go.
There
Let's
we
go.
go.
Come
There we
on.
go. And right
So
there.
then
So
so then you probably provide them with the tracker.
absolutely.
So literally all they have to do is show up and do exactly what you tell them.
Show up with the great and self-develop. They must be reading. They must be reading. They must be
What's your
better.
team reading right now?
My wife is actually hosting the book club, and they're reading Emotional Intelligence 2.0.
Come on.
I'm on slight edge personally, but yeah, they're on
What's slide edge? What's slide edge?
the slight edge. It's a book called The Slight Edge. It's all about doing a little bit more each day consistently, and you have compound of great results.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, it's again, this is I love it because as you know that I'm pursuing my doctorate in behavioral psychology and that. So I'm the James Clear's Atomic Habits speaks of that a little bit. But a lot of people think that if you get 1% better every day, that it's 365%. The arithmetic actually looks like you almost see zero. And then all of a sudden that graph goes like this towards the end of the year because it becomes your 37% better, roughly is what the math works out to, if you're 1% better each day. Because it's 0.01% times 1% times 1% of that. So that actually becomes 37%. Now you do that your second year and you become Javaughn
There you
Spencer.
go. Now, we hopefully we get better than me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
As we're kind of into the final stretch here, I hear a lot about the top. Again, I usually take notes during. This is everybody, this is before. This is how much I'm learning from this gentleman. And I have no ego. That's fine. He's a contemporary of mine. There's nothing better than learning from your peers.
absolutely.
So you talked about grit. You talked about never giving up. You talked about learning from your errors. You talked about going for it. Talk about those four and how would you not only inspire but really lead from the front or articulate that so people can make it their own. Because
Great
everybody's
question.
starting from a different yard line, right? So some people may be starting from the 1 yard line. Some people could have got a leg up in life. Then they
Yeah.
can't help that. So
Yeah,
what does that
absolutely.
grit, what does that grit look like to you?
The type of leader that I always wanted to be was one that do as I'm doing, not as I say. That was really important to me. And I know that helped me with my growth in the industry because my mentor was in the field with me, which subconsciously gave me a different level of respect for him because he was side by side with me every step of the way my first 2, 3 years. So much I competed so much to beat him, which was fun by itself. And I just don't want to, I know what the impact that did for me. I don't want to lose that impact for newer agents. So being on the ground, and it's my gift and curse, right? Because it's going to soon get to a level that we're too big for my value is going to be outside of helping families directly as much as I am. And it's now going to be with making sure that the business is running smooth for the agents and advisors that we have and the team. And I totally understand that. But it's just something about being in the trenches with your team to know what they're going through that is really important to me. as of right now. Then when we start leading the leaders, I know that's going to change. So that's what that looked like. That was always the level of leadership that I wanted to be. And also doing it side by side with my wife was also the
Yeah.
bigger thing.
How
Um,
tell us how special that is.
oh, it's special and good special, bad special. It's all the way around special, but it has to be done, right? It was something that
Bridget, don't get on him because that initial response was like, "Oh, it's special, all right. Oh, it's special, all right."
but when you marry your best friend and then you marry this person that's completely opposite of you, in business, you're going to have blinders. And it's just also good to know that the person that has your blind spot is also the person that loves you unconditionally. So you just got to sometimes hear it in different voices and hear it in different ways. But it's, I wouldn't have it any other way. I definitely love the example that it shows for our sons that we can do things on our, we discipline, we sacrifice, right? We communicate, and it can be done. If you want to get a job, that's perfectly up to you, but just know that you weren't raised in a household that was the only way, and we don't live that way.
And how old are your sons right now?
Have a 20-year-old. I know, guys, I don't look it, but I got a 20
I know you don't, buddy. Look,
and
you
a
see, my
13
wrinkles
year
are all over the place. You don't have any wrinkles.
a 13-year-old. So yeah, sooner or later they took my hair, but let's just say no, definitely some really good boys for sure.
That's great. So as we are looking for, I really, because you said going big, but as the job market changes and reshapes itself, what when you say going for it, Alex Hormozy talks a lot about uninformed optimism. Like this is the
Oh,
pattern: uninformed optimism to informed pessimism. Now we're going down the trough. Ooh,
yeah.
ooh, man, that little pink cloud at the beginning. Ooh, now you're like, okay, this is all right. It's gonna be a little harder. Now you can get in that trough of despair or that nadir, right? But then we get to informed optimism, and then we get ultimately to achievement. So, what do you say to that the person who is ingratiated in, let's say, AI architecture, and they are wanting to build that out? What does that look like for them versus how would you have them do the pros and cons of maybe joining the Spencer Financial Group versus going to take the safe job? And by the way, it's a job, the safe
It's a
job
job.
at XYZ place because it's different. The world's just different right now.
I would give people I give people an out right now, Pat. I share what it takes that I noticed to be successful with us, right? And what it takes to be successful with us, I would put self-development at the top, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I,
So if so, like John Wooden had his pyramid. So your pyramid of success is
yeah,
number
because
at the top,
it almost took
self-development.
me out. It almost took me out the business because I wasn't self-developing, right? I get so many comments like the leader you're becoming, the leader, and I'm just cracking up because I don't normally see it until someone points it out to me. And the only difference between me then and now, the leads haven't changed. The business, there's not a new life insurance product that's changed. The only thing that's changed is that I journal, read my affirmations, and we have more audiobook credits this year than ever before, right?
Yeah.
We spent more on audiobooks than anything else, and every audiobook is self-development, right? It's, and I think it also with the kids, my children's age is a huge part on it because we think kids don't watch when they're toddlers, right? You're in this behavior, you know that kids watch as toddlers, but let me just tell you who watches more like a hawk. It's the teenager and young adult that's trying to be defiant and I got a college kid that doesn't want to do the business, right? So they're looking at poking holes. So if dad fails, then I just gave him an out not to ever try on his dream, right? And if dad and mom fails, the 13-year-old might just always play it safe. So it's a lot bigger than, so I have to do everything that our company tells us to do. And self-development is so important because now how I handle the stress of the business, the stress of the clients, the stress of the agents is a direct reflection of, his dad always mean, his mom is always upset, right? It's just became uh, a camera in our home, right? Of what's to take
I
place,
love
or
that.
how they look at life, right? Now, my son might very well, he's going to college to be a teacher. He might stay a teacher, might be he's going to be a perfect teacher. But I never wanted to be like, I've seen people give up on their dreams and their whole family won't ever dream again because that one person didn't do everything it takes to win. And now everyone's using them as a, see, I can't do this because this person failed at it. I just don't want that to fall on me. So
Yeah.
that's
And
where
Javaughn, it's such a great, we all need something tangible to think about. So that camera in my brain really helps me to it's such a great visual because
they're
like
watching.
I'm in my home office and I'm gonna be like, yeah, that camera's on you at all times, Pat.
It's on you at all times.
It's on you at all times. And it's not about being in the
I didn't
spotlight.
realize it. No, it's not a spotlight. I didn't realize
No.
it, but Bridget always told me it's on, is watching, and you can't. I have two sons, and I have to leave you guys with this, and it's so funny. I have we always say my youngest son is a little bit more dangerous because his mouth is a little bit more, but it's not a little bit more reckless. I got two boys, right? My oldest son, he, let me just tell you how we laugh at it. Because
It's
when
great.
I put my hand on it, it was like, that's their difference. Okay.
Yeah.
I have my oldest son, Darian. He'll watch you do something hypocritical and he won't say a word. He's not going to say anything, right? We call that respectful, but he's not, he's going to see you do something that you told him not to do and you're going to go do it in front of him and he's just going to be quiet. Okay. Brendan, my 13-year-old, he's going to see you do something hypocritical and he's going to call you out on it right then and there. Right? Don't drink soda. We're not soda drinkers. And the moment someone pops open a soda, no, you said, right? Ariane is going to do the same thing, but he's going to bring it up 3 months later when you're popping that soda. Say, oh, so mom and dad can pop sodas, but I can't drink soda, right? And it's funny because that's the difference between the two. So when I recognize that the respectful one is watching and the one we might say is a little bit, he'll call you out, they're both watching, right? So when it comes to this business and the business ventures and having the company and agents and all of that, they're always watching. One's not going to respond immediately. He's going to wait till you call you out down the road, and one's going to call you out right then and there. But the moral of the story, they are always watching what you're doing and saying. So it must align. So when it comes to this business, I never want to steal that energy from them to create. Even if the business closes, dad didn't give up. He moved on to something else.
Yeah. And I appreciate that because it's so, and some, I know that what I had to do is I had to go find out the hard way. And I'm not like, and being a teacher and educator is such a wonderful profession. Who knows? Maybe you don't become static. You keep that self-development as an educator. But maybe all of a sudden they don't like the fact that they get to have phones in the classroom and the president or the principal and then administration can't really do anything because there's so many parents. These are my educator. You can tell that's the problem they're going through. Is the administration, the superintendent can't do anything because they got so many parents complaining that my son or daughter needs to go tax. They're like, hey, dad, what about learning the insurance business? You're like, yep, you had to go see it, right? And I so appreciate your time. I could talk to you for hours.
Hey, no
Um,
problem.
And I know you got to jump on a team call. And again, you're being a servant leader. You're leading from the front. You're doing what you say and you're doing what you do. Leave us. I always like having our guests leave us with kind of a parting quote or wisdom that it is your North Star, at least on May 6th, 2026. What's your North Star? That could be a Bible verse, that could be a famous quote. What do you have that's your North Star or even your family's North Star?
Ooh,
I know, man. We're getting, hey, we got, you know what I'm saying? We got to get deep on a Wednesday, brother. Come on.
I can my disclaimer. I would always say my affirmation. One of my disclaimers. I'll share all of them. I'll share all four of them because this is what
Good,
I write
good. Put it out there.
every day.
Yes.
Um, First one: continue to have patience while achieving your goals.
Love it. Love it.
That's one that because I get anxious as if the world is going to end when it comes to my goals. I'm one of those do it in 12 weeks instead of the year type people, and I tend to run over people. So every day I have to calm it down. So hey, continue being continue being patient while you are achieving your goals because every day you are achieving your goals. Uh, my next line that I write every single day is uh, I love my wife, my kids, and my family. And I have to write that when you're in business with your wife. You gotta just keep reminding yourself, I love my wife, I love my kids, I love my family. Um, and that's one huge thing. Um, the third one might shock people, but as an entrepreneur, I know a lot of entrepreneurs will get this. Um, I should get this. And if you're in this space right here,
Mhm.
and my third one is I am no longer worried about bills and business expenses. And that comes from a time where you I'm not worried. That doesn't mean I didn't have them. Doesn't mean it's just that I'm not physically going to worry myself sick over bills or business expenses.
I,
And the
I
last
get,
one is
I get it.
my last one is I'm a developing leader that develops leaders. And that was what I was saying was my disclaimer because we're going to get wrong sometime. I don't have it all figured out, but I just give myself credit that I'm a developing leader that's developing leaders. So if I make mistakes, I'm a developing leader. I'm not going to make the mistake twice, but I'm a developing leader that's developing leaders. And that's
And
my
a couple
effort.
things I love them and keep those four. I love it. A couple things that jump out of me is this. We had my Coach Sullivan was my college basketball coach. He is the number one. Forbes magazine did a study on CEOs. So I always like talking about peer reviewed research. And number one three words that CEOs used was I don't know. So and then you used an interesting tense of that word. You used developing. You didn't use I am a developed leader. That means that you are still growing, right? I love that. And I am no longer, there's something else that I saw about he doesn't like talking to his kids about, hey, we can't afford that. We can't do it. It's like, no, I can afford it. It just depends on what we want to do with it. So it's just a different abundance mindset. And I'll share you mine if you don't mind me sharing yours.
Absolutely.
Can I share mine real quick?
Please.
So I'm this is really this is super personal. So this is great that I'm just saying out loud. And I can you do it if you can state it without looking.
Yeah.
So I'm an acronym guy. So I call mine jog a mile run to Connecticut. So JOGMRCT, right? Jog a mile run to Connecticut. So J is Jill is the love of my life, and she is my wife, even though we're not quite married yet, right? O is I'm an owner of $100 million financial services ecosystem, but with one intention to give back 90% of everything to other people and make their lives better. And that's through our Give Back Foundation. G is I get to give back, right? at least this year, 20% of our revenues. I don't care whatever that revenue is, right? And God's going to put me in that place. The M is I am I am the man God is meaning for me to be. Basically, the potential. The God is the man I'm becoming, and again, becoming, right? Not like
Hmm.
developing is the man I should have become that God said. And if those are pretty too close when I die, and I look at him in the face, or her, or whatever your religion is, or what have you, is that I want that to be as close as possible. So, like you said, similar to you, that fear of not reaching your potential. R is I'm rehabilitated. I have PTSD, and that's okay. It's again, but it's something that it's almost like I had cancer. So it's all you got to do is just stay in the pocket, right? What's your daily operating system, right? So my symptoms have gone down 90%, but I'm rehabilitated mentally, physically, and emotionally. And the C and the T are I am the culture changer. Not that I want to be, I am. And that's okay. That took me a lot of time to forgive myself because it sounds arrogant, but it's not.
Oh,
It's not. And then
and
the
you
T,
reminded me of when,
I am
yes,
the culture
T,
changer.
and
That's
the T, what's
again
the T?
like if once it happens, because I'm going to make it happen, and you're going to make it happen by us talking. We're going to cross pollinate financial advisors, insurance agents, IMOs, captive, private wealth, all of that, because they'll have to do it eventually and be aggregators. That's game theory. If you have a million people one on one, you got to aggregate to then all of a sudden. That's why people do teams like Survivor. Then they get three people to beat the two. Then they get four people to beat the three, and so on and so forth. So I am the culture changer. And my last one is a T, which we have a team full of servant leaders. If I'm not sweeping the floor first, nope,
Once,
you need to fire me and go find another place to work. And
absolutely.
that's it.
In fact, you and out of my four, that's at the top of my page every day in the big fat composition notebook, and on the side every day. That's not an affirmation. I just put it there's it goes all glory to God exclamation, and it's in the corner. I don't consider that my affirmation. I think that when I talk to myself, when I started, I would love to. I'm probably going to go back because I have books. I've been journaling for every day for a while, and I like to go back and look at the year because without it, I can't see progress as well because I'm
Yeah.
always vision future thinking. It's not until I sit down in the pocket to read what was I upset about or what was my mind at 6 months, 3 months, 4 months, or even last year between that and Facebook's memories, but I don't really put the problems online like that. So it's in the journal. But when I started All Glory to God, it was to take it from a me thing. And that helped tremendously. I see people put to God be the glory, or but I didn't get that. I wasn't that advanced. It's all glory to God. Everything that I put here that I'm happy about and pray and grateful for is for Him, and that's me.
And that's why you are who you are. And that's why you're having the success that you're having, because it's not about you.
Not about me.
You
And
know,
the,
we
the
talked
ego
about
had to get
happiness, it's connection to others. And the more that you give, the more that you get back. And I do want to respect your time because I know you have to
absolutely.
run a you have to run a meeting.
Yeah. Thank
Let's
you, Pat.
let's put it. I'm gonna put it out in the universe around this time next year. Now we reverse engineer what has happened in the next 12 months, in the last 12 months. How many people have we impacted? Right. All glory to God. And
Absolutely.
then now we come back and we collaborate going forward. So I just want to thank you. Thank
Thank
everybody
you.
for watching.
Thank you guys.
Please, regardless, check out Agent Verified if you're an independent insurance agent. Check out Level Up Leads.
Absolutely.
Again, it could be just an arrow in your quiver.
Yep.
And absolutely unequivocally check out Recruiter Vault if you really want to build a team. I'm using it to because I want to bring on agencies to help bring out their book of business. So Level Up
Awesome.
Leads, Agent Verified, and Recruiter Vault. You got to check it out. And as this podcast will come out, we'll have links in the description for you to check out all of those. And Javaughn, man, you are a pioneer
Oh
uh,
man.
in the financial services business. It's something you're going to have to get used to because God does want to give you the glory. And hopefully I'm just a messenger from him today to let you know. And then just as I leave, just kick some butt today with the team and start blessing some other people with protecting their lives and ensuring that they're taken care of.
And I appreciate that, Pat. Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me, and look forward to seeing you on the next one. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Peace.
All right, brother. God bless.
God bless. Thanks, Pat.
Remember, whatever you're pursuing, you don't have to have it all figured out. Just start. Take one action step, have one conversation, and trust that what you need is already within you. This is The Pursuit.